South Point offers all the types of entertainment you'd expect at a first-class Las Vegas resort. Did you know our 400-seat showroom is one of Las Vegas's top destinations for live entertainment? Enjoy live performances by classic Vegas entertainers, bands, and today's hottest comedians, plus a rock and dance floor. You can also enjoy live entertainment at the Grand View Lounge, where you'll feel all the vibes of old Las Vegas. Enjoy the music, and if you love to laugh, don't miss The Dirty at 12:30, our very own free comedy show, every Friday night at 12:30 a.m. in the Grand View Lounge. The Dirty is 100% free, so arrive early. Go to southpointcasino.com or call the box office at 77136 for today's performances at the showroom and the Grand View Lounge. When you're ready for your favorite cocktail, stop in and unwind at one of our 7 specialty lounges. There's a bar around every corner, because you're in Vegas, baby. South Point Casino has plenty of attractions for the whole family. Catch a movie. Our 16-screen movie theater includes 2 XD Extreme screens for the ultimate in viewing, sound, and luxury. After the show, treat the family to a variety of treats at our old-fashioned ice cream parlor, Kate's Corner. We scoop up a variety of creamy concoctions, including smoothies, hand-dipped cones, milkshakes, malts, sodas, and sundaes. At Kate's, there's something for everyone. And if you've still got time to spare, our bowling center might be right up your alley. Voted Best of Las Vegas, it's a great place for friends and family fun. 64 lanes, a pro shop, snack bar, and arcade. And while the kids are bowling, you can play slots and sip on a drink in the Alley Cat Lounge while overlooking the lanes. For our more serious and professional bowlers, the South Point is also home to a separate tournament bowling plaza.
Welcome in, everybody, and happy Friday. I'm going to get right into it because we've got a loaded Friday show for you. A new look, Sports by the Book. We are live from the South Point Hotel and Casino. You've got me. I'm Alex White. I'll be here for the next hour. And instead of his usual drop-in spot, Vinny is actually going to join me for the entire hour. We're going to cover finals, NBA and NHL, some college baseball, some MLB, maybe some W, and we have a surprise coming up soon. But first, Vinny, happy Friday. How are you doing?
Good to be here, Alex. Thank God you're here. Yes, I'm looking forward to this hour, and you have been doing a terrific job, and with Jeff and everybody else, so your dad. So good to be here, and I know we've got a special guest with us today as well.
Yes, we do. The best in the business, because Belmont is tomorrow. So we have Ralph Sirocco joining us now. You know him from Race Day Las Vegas. I believe, if I'm not wrong, the longest going radio here in Las Vegas.
Since 1996.
Oh, that's right, Ralph. Excellent.
They said you got to keep doing the show until you do it right, so I'm still here.
I know that because Steve Cofield told me, he's like, I would think I would have the longest going sports radio here in Vegas, but Ralph has me beat. So You do a great job. You always have a ton of great guests, and we have a fantastic race coming up tomorrow.
Yes, we do. The Belmont's going to be one hell of a race because of the participants in it. This year we've got a very good crop of 3-year-olds, and there are 3 right at the top that. It's going to make the race.
And Vinny always does a lot with horse.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, I'm still trying to cash a couple of tickets, but it's in my blood. And I love this race. Obviously, the third leg of the Triple Crown, a little different, Ralph, from last year. Mm-hmm. This year, the race being run at Saratoga while Belmont undergoes renovations. Probably going to happen again next year, by the way.
All I can say is Belmont is beyond renovations. They knocked down that. Well, you're from the East Coast.
Yeah, I grew up around
there. So
that
big, monstrous grandstand is gone. They're going to put a state-of-the-art facility. Excuse me, there, and it's going to be great when they get back there.
Pass this down.
Okay, very good.
It's vodka.
Vinny.
No, you got me. You got me all choked up when you're talking about it.
By the way, and the reason, one of the main reasons for this renovation at Belmont is because Belmont in a couple of years is going to host the Breeders' Cup.
Yes, they are.
And so that's why I believe this renovation may take a little bit longer. But in the meantime, we still have the third leg of the Triple Crown, the Belmont Stakes, being run tomorrow, Alex, at Saratoga at 1.25 miles. Let's remind people of that. Like last year, just because of the configuration up at Saratoga, Ralph, which you know better than anybody, there's a big difference in that one less quarter mile.
Well, the track's circumference, the main track is 1 1/8 miles. So they can run 1.25 miles, but if they get to the 1.5 miles, they'd have to start the horses on the turn.
On the turn. Yeah.
It's unacceptable.
Yeah.
So a lot of our followers do also follow your show, but for those who don't, let's catch everybody up about the field, because we do have 3 horses that are kind of right there as the favorite, right? And we saw all 3 of them in the Kentucky Derby, but of course we don't have the chance for a Triple Crown. So will you catch everybody up with that?
Well, Sovereignty won the Kentucky Derby. Journalism ran second. Baeza ran third. Baeza and Sovereignty skipped the Preakness Stakes, the middle jewel of the Triple Crown. Therefore, when the Derby winner doesn't go on to the Preakness, there is no way to get a Triple Crown, because as the winner of the Derby, you have to win all 3 races. And so with Sovereignty's been up at Saratoga for 5 weeks since the Kentucky Derby, resting up and getting ready for this and working out. Baeza did the same thing. He passed the Preakness, and he's been working out up at Saratoga. But the second place finisher, Journalism, had what they used to call in the old days, I was watching a boxing match and a hockey game broke out. Well, I was watching a horse race and a boxing match broke out, because Journalism had to bull his way between horses in the Preakness and get it. And that particular race, even when amateurs saw it, said, wow, this horse is something else. And now he's getting ready for the Belmont. So those 3 are the top 3 horses.
There's no question about it. I mean, can you make a case to me? Is it a 4-horse race when you add Rodriguez into the mix, who was really getting a lot of attention prior to being scratched in the Derby, right? Ralph, the speed horse. I think obviously there's no secret. Baffert's going to send him out with Mike Smith in the irons. But the question is, does he really get fried? Does he get burnt out by the other speed horse in the race, the 5, Crudo, right? So I think those 2, they're going to be the pace setters. You hit on the 3. I mean, obviously Sovereignty, Journalism, and Baeza. I know that our good buddy Dwayne Colucci likes Baeza. I know Eddie Olczyk was on earlier in the week, likes Baeza as well. I think you have to use those 3 horses. I'm going to throw in Rodriguez to see if he can get a piece of the exotics in terms, particularly of the trifectas and the superfectas.
Well, you got a home run there. I like Baeza too.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I do. I think he's a horse that has the ability to improve as he goes. You know, 3-year-olds are like kids in high school becoming men, so to speak. And he had a late start, and he's playing catch up now. But if you saw the way this horse runs, if you saw him in his workouts, if you see his conformation, he's a horse that has what they call a lot of upside to him. Mm-hmm. Now we know Journalism is the king right now, and Sovereignty is getting the least respect out of all of these 3 horses. He wins the Derby, and with the early betting at Belmont Park, he's the 3rd of the 3 horses that are being bet. The horse that's being bet off the board right now is Journalism. He's 9-5, I think. Yeah. And Baeza is at 5-2.
You know what's interesting too about this race, and I think the speed that we talked about earlier, the speed duel could. When you really craft in your exotics, Ralph, right? You want to pay attention to some of these other horses. We were talking off air about Irad on the rail. By the way, Irad Ortiz on the rail for the Belmont, but also today in the Acorn. This is kind of interesting. But Hill Road, you want to take a look at for your exotics as well. You notice the other thing too. And I know that Dwayne and Eddie talked about this. Ralph, I know this is on your mind as well. I think the weather's pretty good today. Yeah. Tomorrow it may come up off. Now we know that both
you got 83% chance it's going to be raining,
and of course it's going to be later in the day. And as you know, at Saratoga, that plays into a lot of cards. In fact, there are times as we get into the official Saratoga, summer, you'll see, Alex, where the post times are actually the length between races is shortened to get to account for late afternoon and evening thunderstorms. But I think tomorrow it looks like rain for most of the day. And Journalism and Sovereignty, they don't mind the rain either. But there's another horse, the 4-horse, Uncaged, who's 2 for 2 on an off track, but certainly does not have the speed figures that these other horses have either. So. there's a lot of factors there, and you want to take into account. Watch today, watch the track bias, how the track is playing, and then of course tomorrow, with if it does in fact come up wet, pay attention to the earlier races as well.
So maybe Uncaged for that one with
Long.
a couple of the other. You said Sovereignty and Journalism.
Deep.
Maybe, and pay attention to weather. So don't make your bets till tomorrow is the suggestion,
Well,
right?
this is Sports by the Book. This is a betting show. So you got to sit there and say, you know what? I don't want to take 9 to 5 on journalism. I don't want to take 5 to 2 on bias. And I don't want to take 3 to 1 right now on sovereignty. So what you look for is the opportunities of making, bets that are going to turn chicken feathers into chicken soup. And what you got to do is you got to sit there and say, okay, if you like 1 or 2 of those horses, then you got to search for other horses in the race that could be on the cusp of making the exacta, the trifecta, the superfecta, and that's where your Rodriguez or Uncaged comes in, because Uncaged might like the track and suck up and finish 4th or 3rd at a huge price, and then it makes your trifecta and exactas look good.
Can I ask about Rodriguez and the last time that we have seen him run and why he was scratched from the Kentucky Derby and if that'll affect him here?
He was scratched from the Kentucky Derby because he got a quarter crack. And a quarter crack is just like having, a tear in your fingernail. And so it's not earth-shattering, but it is painful. So what they do is they'll put screws in either side of the hoof, and they'll tighten it up and then put a cap around it. That's okay if you want to keep the horse in training, etc. But you really don't want to pressure a horse into running in a horse race like that, and Bob Baffert didn't do it. Unfortunately, it didn't heal as well as he wanted it to by the time they got to the Preakness, because in not going in the Kentucky Derby, you still needed to train the horse and get him fit to run in the Preakness. So they gave him enough time. It's all healed up now. They've trained him well at Santa Anita, and he's on his way to the Belmont, but that's why he didn't make it.
Okay.
He did lose to journalism in the Santa Anita Derby, right, Ralph?
Yeah.
That was, soundly. He did beat Baeza earlier this year at Santa Anita in January. But again, as Ralph indicated earlier, these horses have grown now over the last few months. It's a time where they are, as 3-year-olds, still growing. I would like Rodriguez a lot more if he was going to get into this early speed duel with Crudo. But I think that's a horse that you've got to certainly use in your exotics.
Well, you know that they have Bob Baffert experimented with Rodriguez. He tried to rate him in a couple of races. That didn't work out. So when they went to the Wood Memorial, he told Mike Smith, you're breaking from the inside.
Let him go.
Adios. And so he went to the lead, and he became a bear in the race. He just ran away and won the Wood Memorial. And so I would think that he would probably have used those tactics in either the Kentucky Derby or the Preakness. And you got to think he's going to use those tactics tomorrow in the Belmont.
Sure.
He's going to go, and it's simple as that. Now, whether Crudo can do as much damage to him early before he does damage to Crudo, or they do it to each other, remains to be seen.
Yep.
Very interesting. So you'll have more tomorrow on your show. You'll have all your experts' picks as well as your own.
Yeah, my handicappers. Yeah.
Your handicappers. Yep. What time is that?
7 to 8 o'clock in the morning. See, I'm here. I'm with the janitors in the morning. I didn't even know there were people in the studio until I showed up today. So look at there's people here.
That's right. Well, we never
just me and Sean in the morning.
No, we never close. We're like the rest of this operation. We never close. There's always somebody in here.
That's right.
There's always somebody in here.
And that's all you need is you and Sean. You guys get the show going 5 days a week.
Yep. Wednesday through Sunday, which are the major racing days. Our racing's weekend really is off on Monday and Tuesday. Yeah. It's going to be interesting. And I know that you picked Rodriguez for the Kentucky Derby.
I did.
But he got scratched. So what do you think? You gonna go for him?
Well, one thing you said that stuck out was that Sovereignty was not getting very much respect here in 3 to 1. So that might be one that I want to put in there as well. But feels like Baeza's got to have a...
Oh, you got to use Baeza.
Got to have a ticket on him as well, right?
He's going to be what they call in the business the wise guy horse. Everybody's going to be looking for him.
And of course today, Ralph, real quick, the Acorn is today the filly version of the third leg. We're not going to, and it's good cheers race to lose. Really.
Yeah,
bigger favorite there than what we're talking about with the Belmont
no question
Stakes.
about that. A good cheer, this filly. She's a 7-for-7 lifetime
monster,
and she's been destroying her competition. She's going for 8 for 8 today. the competition is not that deep. The second favorite in the race that had an opportunity or a chance that you might say to cause a problem was scratched.
Yeah,
so,
the 4-horse Shred the Shred the Nar.
Shred Dinar, yeah.
No longer in the race.
Out.
We're looking at that graphic right now.
You know what we say in the morning if I can't pronounce a horse.
Yeah,
the 4-horse.
Then you have to scratch. Then you have to scratch it.
The 4-horse is scratched. That's it, 4-horse.
So, is there a way to make money on that, Ralph? Is there another horse that you can box with the 2-horse?
Well, here's the deal with the races like this. Since you have all these multiple bets, like a pick 4, pick 3, you could use that race with good cheer as a single to keep your ticket alive, and then go deeper in the other races where you think you might have a long shot to make it happen.
Including tomorrow, you can bet the
you can
Acorn
bet to the Belmont
double.
It's a 2-day double. But my preference is I'll take a race like this. Look for a horse that's a long shot that could, by circumstance of the shape of the race, finish second, finish strong, and finish second in the race, and then you just, like punch $100 exact or whatever you want to, and just take whatever the exact. You take a $2.60 winner, and you make it a $5.60 winner or a $6 winner, and you can make it happen that way.
Yeah, there's only 6 horses in the race now, so yeah.
I know you follow sports as well. What did you think of the finals last night?
Ooh, everybody's sitting there writing this team off, and what happens? What happens?
Well, they did the same thing in the previous 2 rounds with this
They just need
Indiana
the last 3
team.
minutes.
They just hang around.
You think they're meant? I mean, is fate
Destiny
coming in here?
Ooh.
Well, I mean, they certainly you could make a case for it, but you've got to give them credit. And I'll tell you while we're on the subject, I'll tell you what aspect of this team I don't think has gotten enough credit is Rick Carlisle. I think you could make a case for Rick Carlisle, certainly his experience. You have to remember, here's a guy that coached with other coaches and against other coaches. He coached against Phil Jackson. He coached against Pat Riley. Coached against Larry Brown. So the benefit of that is, and you saw it last night, in I think it was the middle of the second quarter. It almost looked like a hockey change, like a line change in hockey, where he just it wasn't working. It wasn't clicking at all, which typically, if you watched OKC in the previous couple of rounds too, they've been monsters in the second half, right? Well, in last night, he made a complete change. He changed just about everybody on the floor and gave the bench an opportunity to come in and again, they just hung around. Listen, not taking anything away from OKC, deserved favorites, especially with the home court advantage. But Carlisle, I think, has been the difference for this team. But obviously, the players have to get it done. But he's really pushing the right buttons, and I think that is something that needs to be recognized.
Well, you utilize as much of your talent as you can in each individual, position, et cetera. But I haven't watched a lot of pro basketball in a long time. And I sat down and I watched it the other night, the semifinals. And I thought to myself, man, this game has changed a lot. There's no more finesse out. They just go out there and beat each other up.
Muscle, yeah. Physical.
I mean,
perimeter game.
There were so many whistles being blown. I said, "There's no flow. There was no flow to the game. At least the portion that I watched."
Yeah.
And it's really getting something, I guess. Yeah. No more. Just go to the 3-point line and shoot.
Right. It has definitely kind of evolved from there. Now we saw it just 3-point. Now we're kind of getting back to that.
Well, the NBA used to be predicated on the pivot, right, on the center. You built your team around the center. Yeah. College, typically you built it around your guards. Now, you could still build it, I guess you could make a case to build it around the center, but your center's out on the 3-point arc as much as he's in the pivot these days, So, but again, there you have the adjustments by Carlisle and how they've paid off, particularly during this run of theirs in the postseason. It'll
be interesting. Of course, Pacers 25 turnovers to the Thunder's just 7, but they made up for it in other ways. They won on the boards, 56 rebounds to
Yeah.
OKC's 39. So it's going to be interesting. You might be right. I mean, maybe we did, count this team out, but they have other ways to make up for it.
Do you think that OKC was probably too confident going into the game?
I don't know, because maybe at the end there but they knew that this team was capable of the comeback like this. So
I think they got shocked a little bit, maybe in those last few minutes. The Knicks. I mean, but they did it to the Knicks. They did it to
they did it
to
to
Denver,
all three.
right?
They did it to the
Ducks,
to the Cavs.
Cavs. Yeah, I mean,
and then the Knicks.
I mean, so like you look at this and you can't be surprised by it. You've got to watch film, pay attention to what's happened. Now that said, because of course it can't happen again, right? So we made them 11.5-point favorites. They took the 11.5, and I'm not shocked at that. Yeah, I mean, so, but I do think that
11.5 is pretty strong for a
very
championship game.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I mean, this is one of the biggest margins, one of the biggest favorites that we've seen in recent years.
It's tough.
These guys are, I know these bookmakers, they put that up so they suck you in and say, well, everybody's going to want to bet that 11.
Ralph,
you might want to lay the 11.
That's such a strong term. I like to think of it as piquing your interest.
Yes.
I mean, the Pacers only led for like 0.3 seconds of that game. So
Exactly.
I don't know. It would be tough to even convince me to take the points there. I think the Thunder are going to be ready to go this one and not let up.
They might have got the wake-up call.
Might have got their wake-up call.
I think so.
We'll find out. We're going to take a quick break. Ralph, anything else for us?
Just try to play northbound horses and northbound lanes. I usually play northbound horses and southbound lanes. But
we appreciate
And that's your traffic report by Ralph Sarago, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Make sure and check out his show, Race Day Las Vegas, 7 a.m. It's a separate YouTube channel, so make sure and follow that. We'll be right back. Vinny and I, thank you again. Don't go anywhere. We got college baseball picks, MLB picks, and more on the finals. Football contest sign-up season is here, and you don't want to miss out on the action. With millions of dollars on the line each and every week in the world's biggest football contest, there's only one proxy to trust, footballcontest.com. Maddie and Tony have set the gold standard for football contest proxy services with 20 years of experience and over 13 million in winnings for their clients. All you have to do is get to Vegas between now and the start of football season to sign up in person, and they do the rest, making sure your picks are entered every week. Whether you want to play in the Circa Sports Million, Circa Survivor, Super Contest Gold, or the new Super Contest College Contest, Maddie and Tony have you covered. Their new website has everything you need to know about these football contests and more, including how you can reserve the best proxy in the business. Experience matters, so go with the pros at footballcontest.com, the gold standard proxy service.
We have 11 amazing restaurants featuring a wide variety for every price range and appetite. South Point's Garden Buffet has something for everyone at unbeatable prices. Or, if hunger strikes in the middle of the night, join us at Coronado Cafe. The American menu offers breakfast, lunch, or dinner 24 hours a day, plus a Chinese kitchen for authentic Chinese dishes from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. From steak and eggs to wonton soup, it's fast and friendly service 24/7. When you need a quick pick-me-up, you can find it at our state-of-the-art Starbucks just inside the main South Point entrance. Order ahead with the Starbucks app for easy mobile order pickups. Or enjoy your favorites in the relaxing dining area anytime, day or night. If you love Mexican food, Baja Miguel's has all of your south of the border favorites. There are dozens of classics to choose from, like fajitas, ceviche, chimichangas, tacos, and more. And for spirit lovers, Baja's colorful non-smoking tequila bar is right outside.
Sports by the Book.
Sports by the Book.
Sports by the Book.
Sports by the Book, South Point Studio.
This is the best sports betting network.
I would argue it is a total mismatch.
There's value with underdog prices in series.
I would lean to the under here.
My numbers are saying I got to bet the Tigers.
Two-way action.
When in doubt, we juice that favorite, that extra nickel.
Sports by the Book, South Point Studio.
Forget about it. The best.
Welcome back, everybody. Sports by the Book. We've got Alex and Vinny today for the next 40 minutes. We appreciate you joining us. Please jump in the chat. We'd love to hear from you, whether it's what horse you like tomorrow, or we're going to get back into NBA and NHL, looking at game twos for both of these finals here. Curious your thoughts and your take on both of these. So, Vinny, we were talking off air kind of about this 11 and a half that we are seeing for game two in the NBA. You had to kind of adjust and put out a number where you thought it would go. Yeah,
I think, some part of our exercise, Alex, if you will, when we're posting these numbers, is you're trying to anticipate too, right? There's an element of anticipation of what you think the public is going to do, and I think in this case here, sure, we've seen where the Pacers, like, no surprise to some folks, especially some who took a nice money line price last night, took a shot on them. So tip our caps to those bettors that did so. But you're like, but this OKC team is better, right? I mean, they're in the finals, and the way they got to the finals certainly warrants them to get consideration here. I think, so that said, the response, anticipating that the response would be by the bettors would be towards Oklahoma City. They did take the 11.5 initially, which that's not necessarily public money. So that's more professional. But can it go back up? Can the public drive this up? Certainly they can. And of course, like everything else, the majority of the money will come in tomorrow, right on game day. But there'll be some multi-legs going to it with baseball today and game two of the Florida Edmonton hockey game. So the thought, it's early. You don't mind hanging it up there and being, okay, if we could take Pacer money and because we know we're going to get OKC money and get, especially as we get closer to tip off tomorrow.
I'm glad that you did bring up baseball because we do have two games going on right now. Of course, one in the college semi-regionals here. North Carolina with a big 8-2 lead over Arizona. Tough time for Arizona going at 9 a.m.
Travel, right,
after
too.
the travel,
right?
too.
Yeah.
So kind of expected that. North Carolina, one of the top teams left. And then we've got the Marlins and Tampa Bay also underway here, bottom of the first 0-0. But back to this, I do want to just take a look at the updated series prices for NBA. And I want to ask you, because you said there was a lot of money on the over, which I'm not surprised with the anticipation of how people could see that game going. Pacers really couldn't get it going for the first half, though. It was almost like they had to adjust to OKC after playing the Knicks in such a long series. So looking at this number, you guys did drop it down lower because it did stay under 221 was the final, but the first half actually did get over
Yes.
at 119. I'm surprised watching that game. It felt like it was at a snail pace that first half.
Well, and then it seemed like every time OKC came down the court, they were either hitting a three or at the free throw line, right? So it's interesting. They bet the first half over, bet the game over, bet OKC in the first half, but again, then sprinkled in, why not? If I like Indiana in the game, maybe take the points. But a clear example where we see a lot of times, Alex, somebody bets. Let's say you have 200 to bet on the game. You might bet 165, right, on the side, taking the points. But let me sprinkle in a $35 straight bet, right, on the money line and take advantage. So you had a little bit of that happening as well. So and again, that's okay. Spread it around, sprinkle it. Game wound up okay. Bettors did well on the first half. We made a few bucks. We're still open today, and we'll be open tomorrow. So that's a good thing.
Looking at those updated series right now, if you do like the Thunder to still win this series in 5 plus 280, in 6 plus 275, and in 7 plus 260. If you like the Pacers for the upset, if you think that they have a chance to sweep now that they did get game 1, 22-1. 5, 14-1, 6, 7-1, and in 7, 11-1. Can't argue with that 11-1 there, because if it does go game 7, of course, Thunder do have home court. Well,
good point, Alex, because here's the thing. You had a close game last night. Okay, there was a disparity. There was, let's face it, we know OKC was up by double digits. in the second half. But again, you look at the history, this recent history, these playoffs, what the Pacers have done. You knew they were going to make a run. If last night is any indication, it figures to be close games, which makes for a close series. And if it can go either way, then 11-1. That's why it's not much more than that.
Right.
Because you would think, well, it's 7-7 after last night. It should be a little bit higher. Well, you can shop, but we're taking into account that this could be a close series.
The one concern for me, I actually laid 2.5 games here with OKC, so I need a reverse gentleman's sweep now. I need the Thunder to come out and win all 4. I don't really think that's likely now. And Jeff Fogel, he writes up a great
Does
article
a good job, Jeff.
that you can subscribe to and get emails. He compared this to the Nuggets series for OKC, which we did see go to Game 7. And the similarities were, yes, Thunder dominated. They forced turnovers, but the Nuggets make up for it with great rebounding and great defense because they actually did a pretty good job holding the Thunder down on their 2-point percentage. So similarities there, which maybe this is going to be a longer series than I anticipated, and I know a lot of others did.
Good point as well, and that again, credit, I would say, Carlisle, and saying let's look at this film, borrow a little bit, but it's also they have similar styles, right? When you look at the Nuggets and you look at the Pacers, so there are styles that you want to pay attention to as well, and if there are some similarities, particularly with success in previous series, you want to be mindful of that as well. So, but again, look, OKC was so dominant, and recent. Listen, folks, a lot of folks, they pay attention to what's recent, what's close, right? You think about it. Here's the classic example of recency bias, right, on the part of the public, and it's not necessarily a bad thing, but you look at the NFC and AFC title games, right? Because we're going to make the Super Bowl number right after the second game. Well, the first game is done, right? Everybody forgets it could have been a blowout, right? But the second game gets played a little bit closer. But who won the second game? So I could tell you there are times when that second game impression and everybody being fresh in everybody's mind, especially if it's a comeback or even if it's another blowout, you're taking into account. You're adjusting anywhere from 1 to 1.5 to 1.5 points maybe. Or a point. So those are things that, little parts of the scientific part, there's an anticipation element, as I mentioned.
Very good. And it is our job to remind everybody not to get too caught up, right? So, I mean, OKC is the better team. They are a double-digit favorite in Game 2 at home for a reason. So we'll see. I'm just curious to see. I ultimately do think that they pull it off and they get this done. They just have been so dominant all year. Just curious to see how far the Pacers can push it. It's pretty incredible what they have done in this whole postseason run and these comebacks.
Yep.
Let's talk a little hockey, though, because we do have a Game 2 tonight. Oilers, very excited to be at home for one more before they hit the road to go to Florida. We know we've seen this series last year, where ultimately Florida did win in Game 7. Curious where that line has moved. We're going to check out right now, unless you have it in front of you, but
Game 2. So Oilers opened a quarter. This is on the money line, now down to $1.20, Alex. So money's coming in on the Panthers. Not a real surprise there. We had anticipated that as well because I think there were some maybe $1.30s out there as well. But you figure that the Panthers drew some late money, in Game 1, not just in the game. There was you could have you gotten like $1.15 on the series price. Wednesday afternoon here at South Point, which was significant, right? So or even $1.20. But now look, we've seen this out of the Panthers already. Don't forget they went down 2-0 to Toronto.
Right.
I think Edmonton is better than Toronto. You still, I think, have to give the goaltending edge probably to the Panthers here. But look. Edmonton, their speed. The Hyman injury, I think, as this series goes on, is going to be a factor. I mean, I thought it would be a factor in the series overall. I think we talked about that. Credit McDavid and Draisaitl for stepping up and being the stars they are, but getting everybody else involved. Skinner had his moments, but hey, look, he prevailed in the game. This series is far from over, which is why also when you look, at the series price, Edmonton is only a $2.10 favorite, right? They're not now down to $2, right? So $2.10 the adjustment, now down to $2. So there's still support for the Panthers, the defending Stanley Cup champs. Here they are, third straight Stanley Cup Finals. They're going to have a lot to say about this series before it goes.
Well, that's probably pretty smart on Bookmakers' part as well. In 7, if you still believe Florida can come back and win this series, only plus 550. Looking at the Oilers, plus 450. But you're right, third time being here, you do not want to disrespect this team and have a lot of bettors coming in taking all of this plus money.
Yeah,
when we know this team is
they're the
capable.
healthier team overall too, I think. But look, listen, it's a great series. It was an entertaining series last year. Draisaitl was not 100% last year. Obviously, he's healthy. But let's remember, right? The Panthers went up 3-0 last year, and the Oilers were given up for dead, and they took it to 7 games. So this still figures to be a lengthy series.
I believe, yes, there is news from 3 hours ago from Ryan Clark on ESPN. Did you see this? That the Stars have fired Pete DeBoer.
I did see that on the way in, actually.
After losing in the West Finals.
For the, third straight year? The Stars have lost in the Western. Now, there's obviously more to this. I don't think that's the overriding factor. Let's remember what happened in the last game when he pulled Jake Ottinger so abruptly, and the way he did it. Let's remember this. So they go down 2-0 very quickly to Edmonton, and Pete DeBoer calls a timeout. I think it was. My gosh, it was halfway through the first period, right? Or maybe even not even halfway. He was pretty animated. He was pretty upset. Before the team went out, Ottinger's going back out to the goal, and he calls him back. I mean, that's. I think that was something that was pretty tricky. Now, everybody thought a lot of people thought maybe he puts him back in, after, or at the start of the second period. Of course, they wound up going down 3-0 right after that. But at the press conference after that game, he called him out again. And then you find out after the fact, when it's let's clear out the locker room day, that they haven't even spoken. I think there's more to this, Alex. I mean, if you follow it, you look and you see, okay, 3 straight finals. You're in the Final Four for 3 straight years. You're a really good team. I kind of think that Pete DeBoer might have lost the locker room down there, and I think management became aware of that.
It definitely makes sense, and you are right, because Jake Ottinger about to start the first year of an 8-year contract. So
he's not going anywhere.
We know how good he is. We've seen it year in and year out, especially it's nice Knights fans and facing Dallas a lot. So it'll be interesting, but
you don't humiliate your players publicly. And I think that's exactly what happened.
Yeah. That is tough to see. But here we go. I actually thought Dallas would take Edmonton down because of the uncertainty and, with that, Ottinger and Skinner. But Skinner has played fantastic in this postseason ever since he got benched for Calvin Pickard. So it'll be interesting. Game 2 tonight. I think, Vinny, regardless how this game plays out, I don't really have any bets. I do agree with the move from 6 to 6.5 for the total. We saw 7 in that first game. I don't really have any interest going over 6.5 now, even though it only took 7. It took 7 to beat your 6. Takes 7 to beat your 6.5.
They're going to bet the Panthers. They have bet the Panthers. They're going to continue to bet the Panthers. In fact, they've even laid the puck line, which is now up to 250. So plus a puck and a half, minus 250. That's a 30-cent move already on the puck line for the Panthers.
I think that's got to be pretty good play in this. I think I trust both of these teams to, give it their all the way to the end. And it would be tough to even see an empty net between these two.
Well, that's or maybe so. If
or
you're like,
maybe at the end, if they pull skin out.
I mean, and then here's the thing too. If you like the Panthers, maybe you look at the reverse puck line as well, right? Where you can get a plus with the Panthers at minus a goal and a half and take a plus price.
So just a look ahead for Game 3 when it finally goes back to Florida. I would anticipate Florida money, regardless if they win or lose tonight, right? If they lose, definitely, and it'll also impact the price of the game, right? So, I mean, if Edmonton goes up 2-0, then certainly, I think that price I would make it higher, and I anticipating that there's going to be absolute, Florida Panther money. So, I mean, but if let's say Edmonton, let's say Florida wins tonight, Florida will still, Edmonton wins tonight. They go back to Florida 1-1. Florida's still a favorite, but not quite as big a favorite as if they were down 2 games. And I think that could be a good time to bet on the Panthers. We know how they are, and they are all about momentum. Mm-hmm. And if they get one in Edmonton, they're going to be ready to go at home
and they believe
take the lead in the series.
And again, Alex, being in the finals 3 straight years, this is something they're very comfortable. Don't forget, again, I'll go back to Toronto, who was playing better. Obviously, Maple Leafs are not as good as the Oilers, but remember, the Panthers were down 2-0 in that series when they went home. They were losing Game 3 at home. And then they just took off, in that third period. So they're very experienced. The moves they made in the at the trade deadline with Marchand and Jones, I think have certainly done them very well.
It's been a very fun series, as it was last year. A little bit different looking now, but really, I mean, we've seen it from all the stars here on both teams. Mm-hmm. So expect it to continue that way. We've got some college baseball plays that Kenny White sent over. So we'll go through those quickly, and then we will go ahead and I only have a few baseball games that I would like to talk about today for MLB. If there's anything that jumped out to you, any series you want to talk about, we can do that as well. Let's take a quick 1-minute break.
Okay.
So then if anybody's just jumping in, they kind of know where to jump in for our plays here. But we'll be right back with all baseball talk up until the end of the show.
We have 11 amazing restaurants featuring a wide variety for every price range and appetite. South Point's Garden Buffet has something for everyone at unbeatable prices. Or if hunger strikes in the middle of the night, join us at Coronado Cafe. The American menu offers breakfast, lunch, or dinner 24 hours a day, plus a Chinese kitchen for authentic Chinese dishes from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. From steak and eggs to wonton soup, it's fast and friendly service 24/7. When you need a quick pick-me-up, you can find it at our state-of-the-art Starbucks just inside the main South Point entrance. Order ahead with the Starbucks app for easy mobile order pickups. Or enjoy your favorites in the relaxing dining area anytime, day or night. If you love Mexican food, Baja Miguel's has all of your south of the border favorites. There are dozens of classics to choose from, like fajitas, ceviche, chimichangas, tacos, and more. And for spirit lovers, Baja's colorful non-smoking tequila bar is right outside. Once you've satisfied your hunger, get ready for more of the hottest casino games in Vegas. Our 24-hour, 30-table non-smoking poker room proudly hosts all the most popular poker games with a variety of betting limits. Visit the poker room for a schedule of daily tournaments. Whether you're going to hold them or fold them, the best place for poker is at South Point Casino. You'll notice that our craps tables are usually the loudest in the casino. If you've never played, join one of our free craps lessons to find out what makes this game so exciting. Check with the craps dealer for schedules and give it a roll. Bingo is also an exciting way to spend your time. We offer 7 sessions of bingo every day. Bingo! And each session includes a cash ball jackpot, 12 bingo games, a progressive double action game, and a $10,000 bonus coverall. Electronic units are available. If you haven't played bingo with us, give it a try today. Guests can also get in on the action at our one-of-a-kind race and sports books. 2 separate rooms designed to maximize your experience and comfort. Our sports book, with over 400 seats, puts you right in the middle of the action, 24 hours a day. The friendly ticket writers are happy to help, and it's conveniently located next to the famous Del Mar Deli, where you'll find supersized portions of delicious deli items like roast beef, pastrami, and Reuben sandwiches, or soups, salads, and pizza, plus spectacular desserts fit for a king. And right next door is the race book, over 150 seats, each with its own TV screen. There are 16 interactive player terminals, so you can bet right from your seat.
Welcome back, everybody. Sports by the Book. We are live from the South Point Hotel and Casino. Please give us a follow on all of our social media, as well as hit that subscribe button to our YouTube channel and jump in the chat. I am going to check in with the chat right here. We've got 3 college baseball plays. I'm going to slide these over to Vinny. We're going to get to those at the end. We're going to hit a couple Major League Baseball games happening tonight, and then we will get to college baseball and kind of touch over the series, too. You have the series prices, if anything changed there. But just checking in with the chat, Roger Long and Dean Hilt on the Pacers to win the series. I hope you got that bloated number to start before the series. Dean agrees with the coaching advantage for the Pacers with Vinny there, and Roger thinks if Game 2 gets close late, OKC will get tight due to Game 1's finish. That is always a concern, definitely. And Nick agreed with you that it was a great point that DeBoer potentially lost the locker room there with Dallas. So
thank you.
It'll be very
always love the
to
chat.
See what they do.
You know, I do love the chat because people, they're, obviously it shows are watching, but they've got a good opinion and they bet with their opinion, which is good. That's important. So bet with conviction.
That's right.
And out there, if you're booking, book with confidence. There you go.
That's right. You told me that a year and a half ago, and it is very good advice. So you have to. I'm curious, Dean Hilt, nobody gave us their horse pick yet. Is everybody keeping it to themselves till tomorrow?
I told you who I was going to use, right? Those the 4 horses.
No, we're gonna have to re-go over that too, because I don't know if we got a definite. And anything today, we'll go over that as well. Okay, we can go over it. You want to do it right now? Sure, let's do it now.
So today's the Acorn. I mean, and Ralph and I talked. Good Cheer is just a monster. I mean, the horse is 1 to 2 on the morning line. So Good Cheer, it's her race to lose today in the Acorn. But I think if you're looking for another horse, or if you like Good Cheer, use Good Cheer with several horses tomorrow. To me, it's a 4-horse race. It's Sovereignty, the 2-horse Rodriguez, the 3-horse 6 Baeza, and 7 Journalism. Again, we know that Rodriguez is going to go out to the front tomorrow with Crudo. You hope that he doesn't get burned out. And if the track does come up off wet like it's supposed to, probably an 80 or 85% chance tomorrow, Journalism and Sovereignty don't mind if it's wet. So I think you've got to, if you can wheel those 4 horses, and maybe those horses going today to Good Cheer, you should be able to make a little money. Okay, I like it a lot. I like those 4 as well, and like Ralph had mentioned, I did pick Rodriguez for the Kentucky Derby. Use
so
Rodriguez.
I don't stick with him.
He's going to go out there.
Yeah.
You just hope he doesn't get fried. Now, the benefit, though, is we did see Journalism in the Preakness. He needed that last stretch, right? And now it's a shorter track. Yeah, this is, even though this is typically when it's at Belmont, Alex, 1.5 miles, it's only going to be 1.25 miles. So just like the Derby. But again, the configuration is different too, where how they start, because if it were to go, and Ralph made a terrific point, if it were to go the 1.5 miles at Saratoga, they would have to start on one of the turns, probably the far turn, and that's not you never want horses breaking from the gate on a turn. It's just not safe.
It is. Yeah, it's so interesting.
Yeah.
I'm glad that we had you and Ralph today to get us ready for the Belmont tomorrow. So there's Vinny's official plays for the Belmont. We're going to talk about some MLB series next. Some good ones going this weekend. And we just got done with a bunch of good ones as well.
Yeah.
Mets and Dodgers did not disappoint.
Good 4-game series with 3 of the 4 games 1-run games, right?
Yes.
And kind of a replay of last year's NLCS series.
And potentially again this year.
I hope so. Well, it's good for business too. You have that East Coast. You've got 2 very high-profile teams, and even if you're not a Dodger fan or a Met fan, you're aware of them because of not only them playing your team, but they're on TV. They get a lot of coverage, right? So a lot of exposure there. I think I think you like this series this weekend as well, Alex, the Dodgers and the Cardinals, just to see if the Cardinals. I think this is a big test for the Cardinals.
It really is,
right?
And this is, it's tough in this first game. We got Sonny Gray on the mound going for the Cardinals, and Justin, I'm going to say it wrong, Roblaski going for the Dodgers. We haven't seen much from him yet, just 9 innings pitched for him.
Well, the Dodgers have been using a lot of pitchers, right? If you looked at this the series with the Mets, right? So they've had some injuries. We know that the Mets have, some are trying to get their pitching staff healthy.
Yes.
But both teams with solid bullpens, yeah. So again, the Cardinals slight favorites here, 15 cents. 3 nickels. I know your father's out there smiling. There's an old school term for you.
3 nickels. Yeah.
Why do we say 3 nickels? Because 15 sounds too much like 50, and on the phone, it was confusing to people. So 50 was a $50. Minus 15 was 3 nickels. So a little bit of trivia for you, little old school trivia for you folks out there. Your dad is smiling. I know he is.
I love that, and the chat is too, because they do like when you break down some things. Because sometimes we just get talking, we're just like juice to the over, and then people are like, "What are you?"
Everything's on.
About?
You can look at it now, so you know. But in the old, there was a time when everything was on the phone, and you were calling numbers. And wait a minute, did you say 15 or did you say 50? So anyway. But anyway, Cardinals 3 nickel favorite today.
So this might be a little unpopular because Sonny Gray is a very good pitcher, definitely above average.
Yep.
But I do like the over in this spot, and the Dodgers have been a little hit or miss. They finally did get their offense going against the Mets, so their numbers look pretty good. The Cardinals better at home, so I do think we can get a few runs from them. But Sonny Gray, as good as he is, 2.5, so 2 or 3 earned runs is his median kind of number there, and he's going up a really good offense like the Dodgers. So
8.5, Alex, and only laying a nickel on the over.
I think we can get there. It's a lean to the Dodgers getting that plus price, and I know there's a clear starting pitcher advantage for the Cardinals, maybe even a bullpen advantage because the Dodgers have been struggling a little bit there. But with that offense, I'd lean to the Dodgers too. But I like the over there a little bit better.
Good.
Next one, we're going to go to the Mets here, who are going to Coors Field, which after they finally got their offense really clicking against the Dodgers, I think this might be a good spot for them to really hit the baseball. So going up against Cincinnati, and Jeff and I have been talking about this and really taking, those elite good teams, taking their team total over when they're at Coors Field going up against this pitching staff. So here's another one that I really like. I believe
6.5. The Mets 6.5 shaded to the over, Alex, but would not shock me if we wind up seeing 7. By the way, they did take the Rockies early in this game. The Mets opened as a $3 favorite in this game, and again, when you see a big favorite like this, particularly on the road, and how you think about it, the Mets are on the run line, on the 1.5 run line. They're still a 2-1 favorite,
right?
So when you consider that was taken as well, right? So the dog price is taken. Again, more professional money, taking the big plus. Again, a team, coming back, traveling, still on the road. And now,
right.
Will there be plenty of Met money by the time the first pitch is thrown? Sure, especially in the form of parlays when you have this big a favorite. Mets keyed to a lot of other teams. Well,
the Rockies, Whitney, as we know, they're red hot. They've won 3 in a row.
Well, they won 3 in a row over Miami. By the way, that's their first. I think it's their first series win since the last third of last season. And but as far as sweeping a series,
Yeah.
team, when's the last time they swept a series?
Well, they'll probably have to look into
Dig
that,
in
but
there.
Ryan
Dig in
will
there.
definitely have that for us.
It's been a while.
It's just really hard. I normally, if they were playing any other team, I would want to take a piece of that money line, but it's Kota Senga who has been so good for the Mets. So this is a really tough spot.
One thing too, I think. I think Lindor is out. Lindor has a broken toe. He fouled a pitch off of his. That's why he was not in the game yesterday for the Mets. He fouled a pitch off of his foot the other night, and he stayed in the game, but he did not play yesterday. Now, could he play with it? Probably. You tape it up and give him a shot. But you want to pay attention to watch lineups. We always talk about watching lineups in basketball. Watch hockey. See what's happening. You have to do the same thing in baseball. Lindor's a big part of this team, obviously.
I'm glad you told me that, Biddy. All right, that one is off my board. Let's move to the next one. I like this one better anyways. It's an under. Had some success with some unders yesterday. So two of the best pitchers going today, Braves and Giants in San Francisco. Schwellenbach has been fantastic for Atlanta, having to step up with some of their other aces out. And then Hayden Birdsong getting his starting spot back as of right now, but has been very good for the Giants as well. And we saw him last year too. So under first 5 is the play for me. I believe it is 3.5, but I'll just double check that right now.
Yeah, and while you're checking that, Alex, the Giants have cooled off a little bit, right? They were early season surprise. They have cooled a bit, and here they are, home dogs too. So I suspect we'll see good. There'll be some Giant money here, but overall, pretty good two-way betting action. That's right, I said it. Two-way action.
I believe that you will. A lot of people still just want to continue
action.
backing the Braves. Others, like me, are okay kind of fading this
transition time for the Braves, right? I mean, we saw their losses, who they got rid of. I think the Braves are going to get better as the season goes on. I think in the second half they'll be better. Are they going to be a playoff team? I don't know if they're not good enough to, in my opinion, to overtake the Phillies and the Mets in the division, Alex, but they will be a better team in the second half of the season, in my opinion, because they've got a good organization and they've got some good young talent.
A lot of talent.
Yeah.
I can't argue with that, but I agree with you that I don't think they'll have enough time to really make a run.
I don't think they'll overcome those other two.
Yes, a lot of good teams in that National League. So one more for me, and then I do want to talk about a really good interleague series that is starting today as well. But looking at, this is not a for sure bet. Let's talk it over. Rivalry here, Yankees-Red Sox.
Well, it's always a rivalry, and again, you've got the Yankees up 15, 20 cents. I mean, they're up to a 2-1 favorite now. The Red Sox have not been playing well. I think there's another team that started the season very well as a surprise. The Yankees, certainly the better team. But again, whenever these two teams hook up, it doesn't matter what their records are. So, but that said, the Yankees here are going to be. We're going to need the Red Sox, not only in this game. We're going to need the Red Sox all weekend long. The Yankees are going to be bet against especially the way the Red Sox have been playing lately, Alex. So don't want to talk you off of it. I don't know if you were looking at the Red Sox here to get a price, but you're going to get a pretty good price on them. And the Yankees just the better team overall. But again, whenever it's a rivalry game, you always have to that Red Sox will give them their best.
I think Jeff has said it perfectly, especially this past week. The Red Sox can't get out of their own way.
Not lately.
Not lately. And I do like. I mean, it's really just a number thing for me, but it's that first 5 I like plus 155. I might just make a small bet on that.
With Walker Buehler?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I do think that they have the pitching advantage against Will Warner. Now, he has not been quite the same, especially as a starter, though. Can give you 5 innings, though. That is his median. So that's a strong lean there. Yeah,
that's fine. Listen, go for it. They take the price. If you like it, don't get talked off. You listen. Here's the other thing.
It's also Aaron Judge's crazy year.
Yeah, no question. I mean, Judge's is one of the best in the game. But here's the thing. you've done the research. If you've done the research, it's not the only bet you're probably going to make today, right? It's certainly not the only bet you're going to make for the week. If you feel confident in your research and you like the price, stick with it. Don't let anybody talk you out of it, unless there's something like we just talked about the Mets, right? If Lindor, you want to know if Lindor's playing, obviously,
right?
I mean, that's a big thing. So again, you're still going to check the lineups here as well. But if you've done your homework and you feel comfortable with it, hey, go ahead.
And you know what, Vinny, you reminded me,
because it's your money.
I've been doing this more first 5.
Mm-hmm.
You can take a half a run.
Well, here's the thing too, Alex. Let's remember this. Yes. So. The thing is this. First fives have become so much more popular. Why? Because the pitching, the philosophy of pitching has changed, right? Especially with analytics have changed pitching.
Right.
You know, Peterson went into the 7th, he pitched 7 innings yesterday. When do you see a batter who, he might be the only pitcher this year, and again, we can check on this, that faced Ohtani 3 times. Right? I mean, think about it. There's not too many pitchers that face a batter more than twice in a game.
Correct.
So first fives are a popularity of first 5 innings is that popularity is a clear result of how pitching philosophy has changed, particularly in the last 8 years.
It is. And I mean, it kind of, if you're new to betting baseball and it's a grind and you're doing it every day, it takes the bullpen out of it.
Right.
Makes it a little bit easier just to focus on that. That's why I really have drawn to that.
And if you're betting full games, pay attention to not only the starting pitcher, because the price is predicated still on the starter, but pay attention to how good or bad the bullpens are.
Right. Definitely.
So, yeah.
One more. We both wanted to talk about this one. It jumped out to you. The Cubs going to Detroit, take on the Tigers. Great first game because we got arguably the best pitcher in baseball right now with Skubal going. And it's not an argument. They are the best offense right now, according to a lot of metrics. So this one should be very interesting. We're seeing a low total here at 7.
7 in Detroit. It's a reflection of Skubal. The overnight was $2, and so they did take the Cubs here. There'll be Tiger money here for sure, Alex. But this is going to be a good series too here in the Midwest. Good interleague series. Again, whether you're a fan of a particular team or not, because at some point your team is going to play these other teams. Right? Pay attention to what's happening because you're also looking ahead into. If you want to make money, just don't pay attention to your team or your team's division. Keep an eye on what's happening because with interleague play, everybody gets to see each other,
right? And
then you're kind of paying attention to what you're looking at for the postseason.
Right. Here's right now, Skubal, the odds-on favorite to win the AL Cy Young for a second year in a row, as he should be. But looking at it, Garrett Crochet jumped up again, and Hunter Brown. He has been fantastic for the Astros.
Good.
So, yeah.
Good prices.
So nothing for me in that one. If anything, I would take a shot at that run line, but it's the home team, so I'm going to stay off of that one and just enjoy it. We found 2 good ones, but I'm going to throw a little bit of Red Sox on there because
go ahead, Alex.
Benny convinced me. We're going to take the half a run though.
Conviction,
and we got 3 college baseball plays. One for today from Kenny White.
These are your dad's, right? I can hold this up here in honor of my buddy Kenny White, folks. So Kenny's whiteboard is today Florida State and Oregon under 11.5.
Yes.
The total on this game here. So Florida State, Oregon State, under 11. And by the way, that's in the Corvallis region.
Yes, it is.
Right. And by the way, I just wanted to point this out too. I think most folks know this. These matchups, these are best 2 or 3. All right, in these super regionals. So you're going to see these matchups during the course of the weekend.
Do you guys have series prices too?
I think they're up.
Or you have game by game?
I have the games here.
Okay.
I have the games here in front of me. Series prices are available as well.
I can check that on here too.
Kenny's second play, West Virginia and LSU over 11.5. That game is tomorrow. That's in the Baton Rouge region.
Yep.
I know your dad is high on this West Virginia team.
Yes,
as well.
He did say he would take a little bit of that series price to be able to beat
and
LSU.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, West Virginia in this game is going with a fifth-year senior, if I'm not mistaken, on the mound.
I think so.
A little bit of experience there. So your dad's third play, Tennessee and Arkansas over 10.5. So that game is, by the way, you can make a case that could be the final. I mean, those are probably the two most balanced teams left. I mean, Tennessee, the defending champs. This game is in Arkansas's backyard. So those are Kenny's three plays. Again, Florida State, Oregon State, under 11.5, West Virginia, LSU, over 11.5, and Tennessee and Arkansas over 10.5 for their first round matchups.
Very good. There is one more today that he had given me to give out, but it did move. Miami, Florida, and Louisville over 11.5, I believe, but 12.5, 13 even here at the South Point.
Yep.
So maybe if it starts slow, first or second inning, and they have some in-game, you could jump in at
we
a
used
better number.
13 under on that total, Alex. And again, that one is in the Louisville region. Louisville's the home team there. But again, you got Louisville who can hit. Miami, probably, I think, the better pitching in that game. But your dad's very solid with the totals.
Anything jump out to you? So going through these series, you were dead on about West Virginia having a chance to beat LSU. He also talked about Florida State. He liked them. It's not as good of an Oregon State team. And that's
even though it's in Corvallis, I think Florida State, probably, I think, also one of the better hitting teams. And, yes, pitching is important and everything, but when teams get on a roll with their bats, Alex, they a lot of times they tend to stay that way. So I think, some maybe it's a value play too, but
well, you're right. Yeah. Oregon
Florida State doesn't, and they travel well. Right. And this, Oregon State, I don't think they're playing as well.
Yeah.
As they were
going
into the tournament.
To get out of that first regional, it was scary there for a second. Should be a lot of fun. Vinny, thank you so much. I have to do I narrowed it down to 3 whiteboard plays for me as well today. Thanks to Vinny's help. We got horses, we got college, and now we got a couple of MLB here for us today. Anything for hockey that you did jump out to for tonight's game? No, I think as I mentioned, Alex, I think we're going to need the Oilers tonight. I mean, and I can understand it too. So I don't give out plays typically. I tell you where the money is going and things like that. But it would not. I think they've already bet the Panthers in game 2, and I think by the time puck drops, we're going to need the Oilers in this game tonight. I'm not sure if game 3 is Sunday or Monday. I didn't look that far ahead. But I'll tell you, I will be on the Panthers probably game 3. But for tonight, for me, with Major League Baseball here, I do have the Dodgers and the Cardinals going over 8.5. The Braves and the Giants under 4 is the number I got. It is juiced a little bit there. But first 5, under 4. I like both of those pitchers going with Schwellenbach going for the Braves, and then we've got Birdsong going for the Giants. Red Sox taking that half a run in the first 5 and getting even money. So with Walker Buehler. And I did a minus. That is a plus half there. I'm getting, it is a plus. You just can't see it that well on the screen. I see it. All right. My eye test here. I'll do the eye test. And that is it for us for today on this Friday. Enjoy your weekend, everyone. I better check back in so Vince doesn't get mad at me. I guess I forgot trivia too. So yeah, we're not done yet. Trivia. We got a trivia question, thanks to Vince, and it is MLB related. In an MLB record that still stands today, which Hall of Famer hit his 22nd extra inning home run on this date in 1971? Wow. Hall of Famer hit his... Still stands today, Hall of Famer hit his 22nd extra inning home run. In 1971? In 1971. All right, non-honorable Ryan. Billy Williams. Oh. I can hear him behind the curtain. No. He said no. No, Vinny. It is Willie Mays hit his
Willie
record
Mays.
22nd extra inning home run.
Still
in
with the
12th
Giants.
inning between the Giants and the Phillies.
Still with the
Very
Giants.
good. And Nick got another one. We've got a great detailed description here. Nick Sansone with another photo finish over JR for the win. So Nick is definitely leading here in this month. JR still needs to collect his prize for the month of May. We appreciate everybody hanging with us, playing our trivia, asking questions, jumping in, giving what you like today. Checking it one more time because I do have Dean Pony pick for Belmont Journalism on the over in the Orioles and A's game. Keith, White Sox lost 10 in a row, 17 of their last 18 to the Royals. Royals are coming off a doubleheader yesterday, though. Seth Lugo going for the Royals. That one should be interesting. We'll see if they can
Good job.
stop that losing streak, Keith. Roger said, good day to gauge the Cubs today. And then JR on the Giants under and A's over. Pizza Money likes the Diamondbacks versus his Reds. Well, your bet should win, JR, because I liked the Reds, and they do the opposite of whatever I bet. But I didn't bet it, so we'll see. We'll see there. That's it for us for today. Vinny, thank you so
Good
much.
job,
We'll
Alex.
see you again next week or
Thank
in
you.
2 weeks on a Friday. I'm Alex White. This is Sports by the Book. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back Monday morning.